certified optimists coach, and I have been coaching about 5 years. I started as a client and have lost 87 pounds on this program. So I am such a sold out believer in Optavia. And I know most of you on here are as well. But I'm real, and Meg, thank you so much for doing all the logistics tonight. It just took one more thing off my worry board tonight. Um, I want you to pop a one in the chat if you are excited that this call has started back. We are so thrilled to be doing the client community call again. And it will normally be on the first Thursday of the month, but because of the holiday this month, we moved it to the second Thursday. But you can start looking for it on the first Thursday of every month. So we're so glad to have y'all here tonight. Welcome back to Client Community Time. And we're just going to start off with a pretty big topic, and that's complacency. Have any of y'all found yourself there before? Do you know what complacency looks like? I see a lot of nodding heads. I'm going to tell you, complacency can be just about anything. Anything that slows, stalls, or stops your progress to better health puts you in that place of complacency. It can be something as simple as, I'm so tired of drinking all my water, or I just can't seem to get that fifth fueling in every day. Or maybe it's picking up the call every week when your coach calls you, or getting into your books on a consistent pattern. For some of you, you've lost a really good little chunk of weight and you're feeling super good and you're thinking, I haven't been here in a while. Maybe this isn't so bad, when you've really got another 10 or 15 pounds to lose. Maybe it's just we were talking about lean and greens earlier. Maybe it's that you're thinking, I can start eyeballing everything. Do I really need to get the measuring cups out and the scale out? All of those things fall into that category of being complacent with your program. And complacency will throw you into a really backward spiral. And often we get discouraged. We don't know what's going on. So if you think you're there, have a really good conversation with your coach and ask them to help you kind of dig deep to figure out if you're in that state of complacency. And don't feel bad if you are, because it happens to all of us at one point or another. We've all been there. So I really want to be respectful of our time tonight because we've got a lot of speakers. So we're going to dig right in. And our first speaker is an amazing client who has done incredibly well. And he's got his beautiful fiance sitting next to him, who is his biggest cheerleader. So Jim, I want you to come off of mute and tell us what you want us to know about complacency.
I think the biggest thing about complacency is it's easy to do. And you have to make sure you are accountable each and every day. Sue and I log everything that goes in our body on a daily basis, whether we eat a peanut or we splurge a little bit and have a little piece of cake or something. We log everything. That way we're able to go back and gauge and see what is it that we're doing wrong. And staying on the program is a key factor. This is my second time around. I've been there, done it, and I'm doing it again. And I can tell you, I've learned a lot. And Sue has done an amazing job keeping the meal prep going. And the biggest problem we see probably that everyone is probably having is it's so important that the meal prep come into play. Mm-hmm. If you don't plan your meal correctly, you will not get to your goal. And your goal becomes slower and slower and slower. You'll become more complacent, and you will give up. How do I know this? I've done it, been there. I went from 180 back to 250. I forget what it was, 254, 255. And I'm down another 49 pounds right now. So I'm coming in under 200. So the journey is so easy. it's the hardest easy job or the easiest hard job, and it all depends on how you look at it. And I can tell you one thing. Shauna and I had a discussion, and I said, I'm going to grab 49 pounds. So I grabbed two 25-pound dumbbells and I walked around with them. And it's amazing how much weight stress is put on. And she shared a little piece of advice of how much strain you actually put on your joint system and your body. And I can tell you my energy level has skyrocketed. I've known this before, and I can tell you one thing. It's like on a sliding board. If you want to get to the top, but you want to go down a sliding board fast, it's a lot faster to put it back on than it is to take it back off. But the
Absolutely.
but the key to this whole thing, and I'm telling you from double experience, the key to this whole thing is your meal plan. If you don't plan your meal correctly, you will see a very slow result, as uh, and then you will starting to get frustrated. And the meal planning is so simple. Sue has done an amazing job. We work together. We plan out the meals. If she's out on the road, I know I can go into the fridge, grab a meal that's already been prepared, pull it out, and stay on that.
That's
As far
fabulous.
as far as the fuelings go, they're simple.
Mhm.
It's all what you choose, whether you want the peanut butter bars or the crispy bars or the desserts or the muffins, or those are so simple. I call it, this is a program for dumb and dumber. I mean, if you can't lose weight on this program. I have people saying, well, how often you go to the gym? I said, I go 7 days a week. But that, I'm blowing smoke up her butt. They're going to the gym and they're working out, and I'm actually in better shape than some of them that have been going there for months and months and months. So the key to this whole program, Kathleen and Monica and Marie and Sonia and Meg, and it is being consistent,
Yeah.
staying positive. Yeah, you're going to slide off the track. You're going to eat a potato chip once in a while, but damn it, if you don't log it down, you're not going to know your road that you're running on.
Love that. You are so right. That lean and green meal is incredibly important. And I'm so proud of both of you for locking that in. Thank you so much, Jim, for sharing.
Sure.
The next client that you are going to hear from is Sonia Churchill. And Sonia and I have been a team here of coaching client for a while. She's had such an amazing journey, and I love that she has such a recognition of when she's slipping into that place of complacency. So, Sonia, I'd love for you to share with us what you wanted to talk about tonight and share with everyone.
All right. So I started up to be September of 2021. And I am what I would consider like a slow loser. It took me a while I had a lot of like stops and starts and kind of having to, like re-engage and kind of double down on things because, I kind of thought I knew better or whatever, oh, I can just have this and I can just have that. But it took me 9 months to lose 27 pounds. And that happened by Christmas of 2022, by Thanksgiving. And I was really proud of myself. I was like, wow, I haven't been down here for a long time. I'm pretty happy. And then between Thanksgiving and Christmas, I had only gained like 2 pounds. And I was like, oh, I can get that off. That's not a problem. And I really didn't gain anything more. But then in January, I took my eye off the prize is what happened. I was becoming more aware of like, I eat, I thought I eat when, emotional eating, like when I'm sad, but I also found out that I eat when I'm happy. which kind of blew me away. Because, yeah, you're like, let's go celebrate, whatever. Like I got engaged in January. So that was a happy time. And then it just kept going. And I just found that I went back to my old ways. And it's so quick how it happens. It's like Jim said, like those habits just come back, and it's so much easier to gain it right back when you kind of lose your concentration. And that's where I got complacent. I wasn't planning like I normally do. And I wasn't eating every 2.5 to 3 hours, which really works for me. I tend to have low blood sugar. So having those fuelings and then a really nice dinner with lots of protein and good, good vegetables and stuff really keeps my blood sugar really stable. And so from January to now, I've gained 10 pounds back. And so I'm really, upset at myself for that, because it comes on so quick. Like you don't even realize it until it's like late. So I've been, I said earlier that I been traveling. I'm a teacher, and so I have the summer off. So I've been traveling, and I really struggled, because guess what? There's like McDonald's on every corner, but there's no salads and chicken hardly ever, and it was really frustrating for me, because it's really hard to eat well when you travel a lot. Next week, I'm going to travel again, but we're going to be staying at a hotel, and it's like a really nice resort. And they have, like really good menus. So I started looking at the menus to say, okay, I can eat that. I can eat that. I can eat that. I can eat that.
Love
And
that.
Shauna kind of asked me like what to kind of think about, like, what am I doing to kind of get myself back on track? And these are the things that I decided to do. One, to go back to that 2.5 hours to 3 hours fueling and eat, because that really does work for me. It makes me feel really good. Measure my lean and green, like I said at the beginning. I went back to measuring. It's a pain, but I've done it. And then keep track on paper, like what I'm eating, or I use an app also that I can log. But I find when I log digitally, I fudge it a little. So doing it on paper is actually better for me. It's a little bit more work math wise, but it does seem to work better for me. And then I started reading on my life book again, and trying to refocus, like all the way back at the beginning, like where you fill out those, like 1 through 10. How do you think, like you're physically doing, emotionally, financially? I went back to that so that I could refocus again. And I just really, it's a journey. It's going to take practice and to get it right for me.
Those are some great tips, Sonia, and thank you so much. And I hope y'all heard, where she fell out of keeping her eye on the prize. That's just getting to that place where you think, oh, I feel good. I haven't felt this good in a while. And you still had a goal ahead of you. It was a small goal, but you still had a little bit of a goal. So those were some fabulous tips. Thank you so much. And I hope y'all wrote those down, because they'll help you to get back on track any place that you're off. So I'm going to turn this over to an amazing coach on our team, Monica, and she's got 2 clients who are going to share with you their struggles and how they stepped out of that complacent place as well. So Monica?
Thank you. So glad to be here. I'm actually going to introduce my 2 clients, 2 very special people to me, have a lot of history. Believe it or not, I didn't plan this, but we all went to high school together. So that's really weird, but we did. So Marie and I met in, I think it was 1983. And we met at the locker, and we've been besties ever since. We're college roommates, all of that kind of good stuff. So she joined me in the journey here. It's been a year, right, Marie? Yeah.
13 months. Yep.
Yep. And then Anne Marie, who would come after Marie, and I, we were in flag corps together. So we were band weirdies together. And so we have some history too. And she found me on social media, reached out, and I'm so happy to be helping both of them. But anyway, Marie, why don't you get started and tell us a little bit about your complacency and where you're at in your journey?
Thanks, Monica. I mean, as Shauna mentioned in the beginning, being complacent sneaks up on you, and it did on me. I started in May of 2022 last year, and just everything fell into place. Like I got on the program, felt great, started losing weight, and somewhere along the line, I lost one of the what's. So, you know, we have the 4 what's of our support system. We got our coaches, we have our books that we read, we have our products, nutrition, and our community, and they're all 4 important. Well, I was doing things so well and things were going great. And I work as a senior territory manager for an insurance carrier. So I'm working 4 days in the field, come home, start doing my work routine 2 or 3 hours. Well, I lost the community. Like my thing would pop up on the phone. Hey, we got a call here. We got a call there. And I'd be like, yeah, okay. No, I'm doing my emails. No, I got to return phone calls. No, I got to prep for my next day. And it just got to the point where it was like, well, things are still going so well. I'm losing weight. I'm still on track with everything I need, meal planning. So I sort of pushed it aside. And I don't know, like for the last 6 weeks, it's been a struggle. Like I just felt like something was missing. And Monica and I were on a call Monday, 2 calls actually. I got back in it and it was like the light bulb went off. It was just like, this is it. This is what I'm missing. I'm missing my support of everyone else that's doing this. And I think we just get complacent because we get used to doing things on our own or just counting on ourselves. And the real success of this program is each and every single one of us being there and being our biggest cheerleaders for each other. So
Yeah, I
that's
love
it.
that. Yeah. And I was so excited that she got on and we FaceTimed after. And I could, you know, I feel like she said the light bulb. I feel like I saw it come back on. And it's such a beautiful thing as a coach when one of your clients, the light bulb goes back on. There's no better feeling in the world. I love that. So let me introduce Anne Marie. And she's going to tell us a little bit about her journey and her complacency. Anne Marie.
Hello, thanks, Monica. Um, I just wanted to go where I kind of got off track, and I think I've heard a few others say was I did pretty well at the beginning of the program and lost quite a bit. And then the inevitable went and I went on vacation. And I kind of lost my way then, you know, where I didn't follow the program as well. And during that time, I kind of gained it back. Not all of it, but, you know, it started to come back. And when I returned, I knew that I kind of had to like get back on, but I would make all these excuses of, oh, I'll start it on Monday, or, you know, maybe I'm getting older, maybe I got to try something different, you know, just like my body reacts differently. And so I kind of had to learn that, you know, those are all true, you know, things change. And I kept putting more and more excuses. And then finally kind of also just realized that I was kind of losing the reason why I decided to do this in the first place, and come to realize that the motivation will change as I change, like, you know, different milestones in my life where, you know, before it was more focused on my kids and getting them to where they need to go. And well, they're a little older now and they can do a lot of that themselves. So I kind of have to rethink. And now it's more for, my husband always reminds me, you got to work on you. You got to work on you now. And so that's when I kind of jump back into it. All during the time, one thing that I was very grateful for is having Monica kind of stay with me the whole time, every Thursday, whether it's a text or a phone call, or maybe we miss it, but we all did always stay connected. So that kind of was always there for me, like, okay, get back on the program. And my husband also really encouraged me. He asked me kind of, well, what are you looking for? And I'm like, well, I like this and this. He goes, well, that sounds like everything that you did before. So, you know, I started back on, and one of the things that I'm kind of looking back on is kind of trying to learn from my mistakes, or not mistakes, but things that I kind of veered away from. And like I said, was rethinking, well, why do I want to be healthier? What was it's the purpose, you know? So I kind of wrote all those down, and some of the steps that I take is more journaling. I know that keeping track, I did lose my way on keeping track. So I know I've heard that tonight, where you keep track of all of the the meal plans. But not only that is like, I have my journal where I kind of write, how did I feel that day? I think some of the books say like, how did it feel? Like, kind of learning from what's happening in my life and keeping track of that. And, like I said, when you go out with friends, like I think it's always celebration, it's always food involved. So learning different tricks on, not always having trying to think of ways and planning a little bit for those events because you still want to be social. So just making sure that I can complete that. So the journaling kind of helps me keep track of, when things are changing and keep me focused. And then I also needed some accountability, and I'll show Monica. She's been asking for okay. This is a very simple chart. You can't even see it, but what I do is I need the overview of everything. And I put this in my bedroom so that my husband sees it and my kids see it, and they'll ask me questions and they'll be like, oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh, yay, mom. So they're kind of like my cheerleader. They also see everything, and I put everything for real on there. And then, but I like it too, because I'm a visual and I like to see the progress and, the up and down, where the journal is like a one-day snapshot. This is my big picture type of thing. So that's my accountability. And then also for me, I didn't really change. Some of my habits I didn't change. So I'm kind of looking to make smaller changes, like plan out the meals, journal that, I'll get back to the book for that motivation, just little things that along the way, and not try to do everything all at once. Because if I do everything all at once, I get a little more overwhelmed. And then that's when I start to say, oh, this isn't for me. So smaller steps is
Love
really
that.
what I'm looking for.
Love that so much, Anne Marie.
Yeah, your chart is the bomb. I love that chart.
Yes.
It's so awesome. Totally stealing.
Yes.
Thanks, Shauna, for letting us share.
Oh, I love that. I hope y'all took away some good tips. And I saw a lot of you writing, and there's a lot of great stuff in the chat. All of you who shared, thank you so much. You shared from the heart, you shared your struggles, and we took a lot away tonight. Meal planning is key. Refocusing and going back to basics. Community. This is so important for you. The Facebook page, these check-in times on the community calls and on the Monday night community calls. And then Anne Marie talking about getting back to your why. Sometimes we have to redefine why we're doing this, because initially we may meet some of our goals and then we're like, well, why am I doing this anymore? Well, you have to dig a little deeper, because you can always find another reason to keep going. So I want for Monica really quick, because she's got a really good tip for y'all as well, to share really quick, and then I'm going to share something about an exciting challenge that we have.
Okay, thanks. So I wanted to share my complacency as well. As I was talking to my clients, just thinking about what mine looked like. And I think for me, I really was out of my books. I did, full disclosure, never finished. I've been on for 4 years and I've not finished the darn books. Okay. So I'm like, I'm going to do this. So I started doing that. I found a time that works for me, like 5 in the morning, I get up and just before I even put my feet on the ground, I read for 5 to 10 minutes, and I'm getting through all those books. And in doing that, I realized, I'm like, wow, this is really good. Why have I not been reading this? And it's been so helpful. But one thing I kind of identified, I think I was riding on a wave of I think Jim mentioned earlier that, you're just losing the weight and you're like, oh, I don't have to do anything. The weight's just coming off. And then you get to a point and you have to change some things because our body kind of gets used to it. And so I was missing motion. So I've added that back in, and that really kind of came to me through reading those books. So I kind of doubled down. My complacency was the books, and then also missing the motion. So found just some things I love to do, because I hate working out. It stresses me out. And when I go, I want to eat chicken wings because I worked out and I hated it. So I'm like, now I just do things I enjoy that are motion, and the book taught me that. So I really appreciate that. And I've been having a great summer with just kayaking, hiking, yoga, all kinds of cool things. And yeah, back to my fighting weight. So very excited about that. So yep. Thank you, Shauna, for letting me share my story too.
Good for you, Monica. Well, let's give everybody a big hand that spoke tonight, because it takes a lot of courage to come on and be vulnerable about where you're struggling. And I love that they all had a tip for you on how to get out of that. If you feel like you're in a challenge like this, please connect with your coach because your coach has some great tips for you. They've been ahead of you. They've forged the road already, and just reach out and stay in that community because this is vital to your journey to be around people that are on the same journey as you are. But I want to wrap up and encourage you, if you haven't already, to sign up for the Fit and Free in 2023. This is going to be an amazing, I believe it's like 6 weeks of self-care experience. And it's going to start on Monday, July 17th and continue through August 27th. Y'all, there are almost 200 people already registered for this. And that's exciting, isn't it? So there's a private Facebook community. You have access to that. And we're just going to be working through some really great time together. And each week there'll be a different theme to help you take the steps to becoming the best you and experience freedom that health creates. So again, I want you to connect with your coach if you have not signed up already. Your coach will lead you to the sign up form, and then they're going to put you in this amazing private Facebook page. And you can't get in there unless you're signed up. So you don't want to miss this one. This is going to be a little bit different than what we've done in the past. We've never, gone to a private Facebook group like this. So we're really excited for this. If you've loved tonight and are excited about the community time coming in every month, put a 10 in the chat for me and let us all know so that, those of us who are leading these community times will know that you're really excited about it. We've got about 2 or 3 more minutes. So does anybody have a question for any of the speakers, or do you want to share if you've had a place of complacency that you've navigated out of? Don't be afraid to come off of mute. Just pop off of mute and speak up if you'd like to.
Well, I'm going to jump in. I'm going to tell everyone you can do it. As if it were easy, everyone would be fabulously doing their job. Stay focused. Remember that you can get to the goal. It's all in your mind, whether you want to or not. And it's always easy to have yourself convince yourself that it's easier to go the other way. But I'm proud of everyone. I think everyone can do a fabulous job. And the next time I see him, I think you're going to be down another 5 pounds. So.
Hey, does he sound like a coach, y'all? Right? I love that it's you talk yourself into thinking it's easier to go the other way, but it's really not in the end. It's easier to keep pushing forward, y'all. So much easier to keep pushing forward. Okay, so does anybody else have anything they'd like to throw in there?
I can add
Go ahead.
because I will say that I was in the complacency train myself. I was doing really good at just keeping 1 pound up or 1 pound down, or 1 pound up or 1 pound down. And I figured it out pretty quickly that I had done that same thing. We can add a little of this. I can go out one more time to eat. This time I'll have a a glass of wine, and it wouldn't destroy my my work that I'd done it, but it just kept me in walking in place. And I have found, since I started with emotion, started back with the 5 and 1, logging again, all the things, I have gone out of that space where I was 158 to 160 down to 156, and I haven't seen that in a very long time. And I knew I could do it, but there's a part of it when there's a place where you go, well, yeah, it's kind of like being in high school. You just procrastinate. I'll do the work when I really feel like I need to, and it doesn't have to be that way.
Right. Rebecca,
So.
thank you. Well, that's a wrap. Thank you so much for coming tonight, and we'll definitely see you again next month on the first Thursday, same place, same time. Meg, thanks so much for all your help. And to each of the speakers, you did a fabulous job tonight. Thank you so very much for showing up and sharing tonight. Y'all have a fabulous night.
Good night, everyone.
Good
Good
night.
night.